Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. On this channel we discuss everything nursing, personal finance and everything of value. In this video I'll be discussing with you the reality of being a band 6 nurse in the NHS. So I became a band 6 nurse in April of 2022 and it's been quite challenging, full of ups and downs, and the role of band 6 nurses include but not limited to the following. First, as a band 6 nurse, you have to be clinically sound, because if you are on shift, you will be in charge of the shift. And also, you have to have mentorship experience, because in your ward, you have new staffs, you have students, so you'll be mentored to these people. And another one is you'll be involved in a lot of managerial stuffs, which include auditing, staff rostering, answering of detics, and many more. So those are the roles of band 6 nurses, but not limited to this. There are many roles of band 6 nurses on the ward. Here are the untold truths that no one will tell you about being a band 6 nurse in the NHS. First, the money matter. You know I like money so much. Money can never be your motivation to become a band 6 nurse in the NHS. If money is your motivation, just abort the mission. Don't even bother applying for this role, because the person that is at the highest band of band 5 is earning about £32,000 a year, and you starting as band 6, you are starting on £33,000 a year. So the difference between your salary, the hourly rate is even just like £1 different. So money can never be your motivation, because some people that are on band 5 and are doing loads of nights and weekends might even make more than you, a band 6 nurse with more responsibilities. So don't be surprised. I've seen it. Some of my salary as a band 5 are more than my salary as a band 6, because while being a band 5 I used to do loads of nights, but now as a band 6 it's just loads of long days, weekdays, not even weekend. The first salary shocked me. I got my first salary, I was like, what is this? Because my band 5 salary is more than the first salary. And I was like, oh, that's what you pay for being a band 6. Because so money can never be your motivation. If money is your motivation, don't bother to apply. So know that about the money part. Although there is a pack to it, being a band 6 nurse, because the NHS salary is in range. As band 5, their salary ranges from 27,000 or thereabout to 32,000. So as a band 6, your own salary range from 33,000 to like 40,000. So every 2 years, your salary tends to move forward until you get to the highest band. But for the first 1 and 2 years, your salary as band 5 might be more than your salary as band 6. So don't let money be your motivation. Be really motivated to actually want it and then go for it. Secondly, the responsibility is huge. It's huge. That sometimes I even feel like, why did I even apply for this? I could have just been a band 5 nurse and then just have my patient and just focus on it. Because it's easy if you are a band 5 nurse to just stick to your patient and just give all the care they need to them. And if you wish to help others, you can help them. But as band 6, you have to be everywhere. All the staffs are your responsibility. All the patients are your responsibility. If anyone is in one bay that requires review, you as band 6 must know. If it's another one on another bay that is at risk of 4, you must know. So because it's not only the nurse in that bay that will take the fall for it if anything should happen, you as the nurse in charge of that shift will also take fall for it, because if the nurse does not know, you should know as the band 6 nurse. So the responsibility is huge and you can't avoid them. It's something you just can't avoid. The responsibility is just huge. So if you are not ready, if you are not someone that can shoulder this kind of responsibility, then the band 6 role might not be for you, especially on the ward. It's huge. So another one is being a band 6 nurse can be physically and mentally draining, because we all know that the NHS is short staff. So you are the band 6 nurse. There is no enough staff on the ward. You have to take patient by yourself. Let's say you are having 7 or 8 patients to yourself, and also you have to be in charge of that shift, ensuring every other people are safe as well. So it can be physically and mentally draining. If any patient have complaints on the ward to make to a senior colleague, you will be the first contact. They will call you. You have to respond to them, know how to talk to people, how to present yourself. If there is any complaint from the site manager, if there is any complaint from anywhere, it's on your head. Meanwhile, you still have patients to cater for. So it can be mentally and physically draining. That most of the time you tend to feel like, oh, does it really worth it? Yes, all those kind of thought tends to come. So because sometimes you just get frustrated about everything. So these are part of the realities of being a band 6 nurse. It's not easy to be a band 6 nurse. If I should choose which one is more easier, being a band 5 nurse or being a band 6 nurse, certainly being a band 5 nurse, it's actually easy. Because on some days, if I go to some other wards to do bank shift that I'm not in charge of the shift, I know how I do my job. I render the care needed to the patient, not really bothered about the affair of the ward and everything. So it's actually quite easy being a band 5 than being a band 6. So if you are not ready for this kind of stress, then the band 6 role might not be for you. Coupled with the fact that having all your patient, having all these things, you have to make sure that you ordered ward stock, like medications you don't have on the ward. You just have to make sure the ward is running smoothly. Being the band 6 nurse, it's quite demanding and it's quite stressful. So if you are not ready for this kind of stress, better to avoid this. Just don't apply for the role. So yeah. So the good and best part of being band 6 nurse, yes, I'm enjoying it because of the fact that being a band 6 nurse exposes you to a lot of things that if you are a band 5 nurse, you may not have access to them. So as a band 6 nurse, you tend to know how things actually works in the hospital, how the staffing is, how everything works. So usually while I was still a band 5, there are some days that we tend to send some staff to other wards. I have been sent to a lot of wards in the hospital as well as a staff nurse. So I used to wonder, why are they doing this to us? Why sending us to everywhere? But then I became a band 6. I'm holding bleed holder, managing all the whole medical wards in the hospital. And then I was like, that's my job, to make sure that everywhere is safe. So I'm in charge of the staffing. So I know the staffing in all the wards in the medical wards. And I have to make sure that everywhere is safe and the skill list is fine as well. So I tend to understand, oh, so this is why they send us, you please go to this place, go to that place. So this is why they actually do this thing. It's not like they are just sending us. So having this kind of knowledge, which I may not have being a band 5, it's something that is very good about being a band 6 nurse. And also, of course, I said money shouldn't be a motivation to you, but there will be a noticeable difference by the time you move from, by the time you are having some experiences as band 6 and there is this yearly increment in your salary until you get to the end stage, which is like 40,000. Of course, there is difference between 40,000 and 32,000 of band 5, and a band 5 nurse cannot go beyond that money. So as band 6 nurse, you can reach the 40,000 level. That's a fact. So that's a good one. Another thing is, being a band 6 nurse open doors to learning to you. You learn how managerial stuff works. You learn about leadership and your day-to-day activity, your human interaction, your human relationship also tends to improve. So being a band 6 nurse affords you all this, because there are some trainings you will not have done if you are a band 5 nurse that you will do as band 6 nurse. Leadership training, management training. Like there are some training they've booked for me now that it's in relation to management. I wouldn't have booked those training I won't even qualify to book the training at being band 5. So it's because I'm now part of the managerial team that I have to do those trainings. So those are perks. Another thing, one of my motivation is, if you actually want to be a band 9 in NHS, you can't remain a band 6. So if you want to be a band 9, then you have to apply for a band 6 role. So if you apply for band 6, that's where you can become band 7. And if you apply for band 7, that's where you can become band 8. So you can't say you are band 5 and then you want to become band 9 tomorrow. So you just have to apply for it and then you get it. So those are perks that comes for it. Auditing is another thing. You tend to audit, and during the auditing, you learn as well. You improve your knowledge. And the fact that you are also a kind of go-to person on the shift you are, that you know other people actually depends on you. If they have any problem going on in their base, you are the person they will come to. This tends to push you to continue to learn more about things that are going on the world, and this is really huge for you. Sometimes I just look at myself, I was like, I just joined the NHS in the last, not even up to 2 years in the NHS, but I know so much. That is one of the reasons. That is because I'm a band 6. I also tend to learn, because I don't want to be a band 6 that will be in charge of shifts and something will happen and I will not know how to address issues. So these are some of the perks that comes with being a band 6 role. It gives you access as well. Access to people in the hospital, access to people in the side office, the people in the executive levels. Yeah, being a band 6 role, being a band 6 nurse gives you access to these people that you might not have had if you are a band 5. Because to be fair, we nurses do a lot, especially the band 5 nurses. We do so much on the ward, caring for people, dealing with a lot of things, but it doesn't seem as if we are being noticed as we should be. So, but if you're in band 6 nurse, it gives you some access to some certain level. So these are some of the perks, some of the good things that come with being band 5 nurse. Should you apply for a band 6 role? Of course, yes. If you are confident and you know that you are capable of being a leader, you can shoulder responsibility, of course you should apply for it. And you do really good when you apply for it. So I encourage anyone who is willing to apply and know that he is ready to apply for the role, for the job. It's full of challenges, full of ups and downs, but certainly some people need to apply for it, and I encourage everyone to go for it. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video interesting and you want something similar to this in the future, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, like, click on the notification bell, and also if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section and I will be more than happy to answer those questions.